Alright, today I'm going to give you guys a detailed look at this figure, and the figure is Clockwork Men, and it is by a third-party company. Just right here, focus, there we go. So let's take a look at the figure and the accessories. Okay, so when you first opened up this box, you're going to get two foam layers. One is where the figure's housed with the head sculpt, and also his hat up there, and then two extra hands. And then in here, the second layer, you have the little dagger, the arm blades, and then his trench coat, then his belt, and pistol, holster, and the rest of the accessories. Alright, and here we have the figure outside of packaging, and I pretty much put most of the accessories on him except for a few items, which I'll show right now. Oh, it's kind of bright. Let me see if I can adjust the light. Here's his hat. Focus this a little bit up. There we go. There's his hat, and then there's his armband with the Nazi symbol. And one thing I'm really unhappy about this armband is that you can see the symbols there, but then the actual piece itself is a sticker. So they just took the cheap way out and put a sticker on top of the red band, the armband, and that was it. So, which is very disappointing. And there's the head that he comes with initially when you first get it out of the box. You're gonna have to pop this head off, and then use either a hair dryer or hot water to soften up the neck, so you could remove that neck joint, because this head will need that same neck joint. So you're gonna have to pop that off and then replace it with the other head. And then here's his Luger, and an extra pair of hands, and these are trigger finger hands. So you could hold his pistol either left or right. And then there's the figure. And you're gonna have to put that neck piece on his collar there yourself, and then also the strap and the belt and the dagger, same thing, and also the holster. Have to attach all that yourself, and same with the jacket, the trench coat. You're gonna have to put that on yourself, and the blades. The blades are actually made out of metal, which is nice, but there's some stuff on it. Now here you can see the blades. Well, the blades are a bit cloudy, and looks like they either didn't polish it enough, or it's beginning to oxidize already. I'm not sure, but something's going on with these blades. They are not mirror finish. There's a cloudiness to it, which I guess is okay for the character, because oh well, but still, I mean, his outfit is all brand new, so the blades, these blades should be nice and shiny and not dull like this. Alright, so let's do an extreme close-up on this figure. We have the mask, which is nice. I think they did a pretty good job on the paint. And then there's this neck piece, and then buttons on his jacket, emblems, then there's the dagger, and the holster. Let's see if I can get a closer look at that blade now. Yeah, it looks really dull. This side, I can see it a little bit better. Nope. Let's see if I get close enough. Here we go. Yeah, it's really dull looking. I mean, maybe if you have a machine where you could buff this thing out, you should be able to buff it to a mirror shine. But yeah, not this one. Not when it's out of the box. And here's a close-up of his hat. And then there's the armband, and you can see that's a piece of sticker. And then there's the Luger. There we go. And it does not have a removable magazine. And let me get you guys see the head sculpt. Oh, wait, where is it? Where's the head? Right here. Most likely I'm not going to use his head because with this outfit I want Kroenen to be in his Nazi uniform. It's a nice accessory to have, but yeah, only if they provide us with the other version of Kroenen where I would even consider using this head. Alright, so here's a closer look at the rest of the Kroenen body, and then here's the head sculpt. The mask is not removable, it's sculpted with the head attached to it. It does look like it's a separate strap, but it's not. It's actually a sculpted piece. And a good look at the inner jacket. Whoops. Now the material is more of a pleather. I think it is a pleather-like material. Not sure how long that'll last, because with Hot Toys, they have used pleather-like material for their clothing, for their figures, and some of them do crack. And not sure about this, since this is not by Hot Toys and it's a third party, so not sure how well this thing is gonna hold up. But for now it looks nice, and the fabric feels nice and soft, but it is a bit thick, especially the inner jacket. From the promo pictures it looks quite fitting, but this one it's a little puffy. So the belt does go on pretty tight, and you can see how the jacket is kind of bunching up a little bit towards the front. And yeah, let me see if I can show you this side. Here you can see the side is kind of bunching up a little bit from the belt, and yeah, you can kind of tell it is kind of thick. But from the promo pictures, it doesn't look like that at all. And I think they actually use a different type of material for the promo pics. And here's a look at the outer jacket, the trench coat, and the sleeves are quite snug, really snug actually. So the only way I was able to put this trench coat on was to take the inner coat off and then shove the sleeve through, and then put this thing back on him, because otherwise it was pretty much impossible. And these blades are really tough to put on. I'm not gonna take these out because they're just so hard to take out and put back. There is a leather strap that's attached to the blade, and it's supposed to go around his wrist section. And with the jacket and the trench coat, they're both really thick, so it doesn't leave you a whole lot of room for the sleeves, for the wrist. So when you shove that piece in there, it's really tough, and the wrist joint, it's really I wouldn't say really, but it's kind of flimsy. So when you want to take these hands off, you gotta use either a hair dryer or hot water to soften up the plastic of these hands before you pull, because otherwise you're gonna rip that joint right off. So you have to do that. while having the jacket on, and put the blades back on, and then put the hands back on. So it was quite a chore to do all of that. Basically, it took longer for a real actor to put this outfit on than to put this whole thing together for this 1/6 scale toy. And as far as the articulation, quite well. You can see he can hold a pose quite nicely without so the jacket and the outer coat, they're soft enough where he could actually retain his pose without any problems whatsoever, so that's nice. And he has a really good range around the waist section. There he is arching back, and it was kind of hard to tell with the trench coat on. And there he is leaning forward, quite a good range. And the hips, the knees, really good range as well. And you can see it's kind of stretching the pants a bit. I want to keep him in this pose just so I don't tear the outfit itself. But you can see he could definitely hold his pose quite nicely. The boots are nice and thin. The material they use to create the boots are nice and thin, but the ankle joints are not the stiffest, not as good as the rest of the body. Everything else is quite nice and tight joints, but the ankles not as much. So overall, it's definitely not as refined of a figure as Hot Toys can create, but it is tailoring wise, it is better than Sideshow. The material they use, it's a little thick. It feels like it definitely not a Hot Toys quality as far as the thickness and the material, but it's definitely comparable with Sideshow. Body wise, it's definitely better than the Sideshow body because it's a lot stiffer. Overall, it depends on how much you're paying for this figure. I pay about $136 off Monkey Depot. That's a good price, I think, for something like this, because it is quite poseable, and if you like this character, you're gonna really like it. And I'm not gonna put the hat on right now, but I will show some pictures at the end where he has the hat on, and the hat it's quite hard to put it on. I have to stretch it with my fingers. I use quite a lot of force to try to pry the hat open from the lip section in order for it to go on him, because it is quite tight. You can see it's just fabric, but it's quite tight. But you're definitely able to put this on, but you will definitely have to stretch the collar section quite a bit, the rim of the hat quite a bit in order for you to get it on him. And disappointment would be the armband with that piece being a sticker. Otherwise, it's a really good looking figure. And and the hat, actually a piece came undone. Let me see. This silver dot, that silver end cap thingy, it came loose. I just used super glue to glue it back on. Not that big of a deal, and just gotta be a little bit careful with some of these buttons, because I'm sure they're just glued on as well. Everything else is actually a pretty nice figure without any issues whatsoever, so I am happy with this figure. But yeah, I guess for the time, for the price I paid, yeah, I am happy with it. If you're paying crazy amount, I wouldn't recommend paying more than $150 for this guy. It is a nice piece, and I'm sure you can still find it online. Again, I bought it off Monkey Depot. So, and here's a side-by-side comparison between the Sideshow Kroenen and the TitToys, TitToys version of Kroenen, and there they both are. You can see the hat. I mean, the mask. The Sideshow version is a lot bigger than the third party one, which I actually don't prefer, because the Sideshow one, it's a little too big for the body. This one, the third party, is a little too small for the body, so I wish they would make one a little bit in between. In between the two would have been perfect, but still, I'm okay with either version for the most part. And yeah, trench coat. This is a custom trench coat. I had to give him something else. I didn't like the material Sideshow gave for this figure. Granted that this figure came out quite a few years ago, and yeah, so there they are. Yeah, highly recommend this thing. Even though it's a third party, price is good, and construction, it's above average. So yeah, go for it if you want to purchase this guy, and if you don't mind the thickness of the jacket with the trench coat together, but otherwise it's a solid figure. There you go. Thanks for watching.